In a world where geopolitical alliances are constantly shifting, a new development has caught the attention of global leaders and analysts alike. Our story begins with a startling revelation from South Korea's defense minister. What evidence suggests North Korean troops are fighting in Ukraine? Picture this. It's October 8, 2024, and South Korea's defense minister Kim Jong-un stands before a group of lawmakers, his face grave as he delivers a shocking statement. It is highly likely, he says, his voice echoing through the chamber, that 6 North Korean officers were killed in a Ukrainian missile strike near Donetsk on October 3rd. The room falls silent as the implications of his words sink in. North Korean soldiers fighting and dying alongside Russian troops in Ukraine. It's a scenario that until now seemed unthinkable. But the evidence doesn't stop there. Ukrainian media reports corroborate Kim's claims, painting a picture of North Korean involvement that goes beyond mere speculation. As we delve deeper into this unfolding story, one question looms large. How extensive is North Korea's involvement in the Ukraine conflict? Imagine, if you will, a battlefield where North Korean engineers work side by side with Russian troops, their hands guiding the launchers of KN-23 missiles. It's not a scene from a political thriller, but a reality unfolding in Ukraine. Sources on the ground report dozens of North Koreans operating behind Russian lines, their presence a testament to the deepening ties between Pyongyang and Moscow. But it's not just boots on the ground that North Korea is providing. Picture vast stockpiles of ammunition, enough to fuel half of Russia's artillery needs in Ukraine. Over 2 million rounds, a relentless barrage that has helped sustain Russia's grinding war of attrition. As we contemplate the scale of North Korea's involvement, another question arises. What are the strategic implications of North Korea's involvement? Imagine you're a fly on the wall in a high-level strategy meeting in Pyongyang. What would you hear? Perhaps discussions of combat experience, of testing weapons in real-world conditions, of strengthening alliances. Professor Lim Yul-chul from the Institute for Far Eastern Studies in Seoul offers us a glimpse into this thinking. For North Korea, he muses, gaining diverse experiences and wartime training might be a primary motivation for sending soldiers to Ukraine. Meanwhile, in Moscow, strategists pore over maps, grateful for the North Korean support that helps keep their war machine grinding forward, despite international sanctions and a determined Ukrainian resistance. But how did we get here? To understand that, we need to look at the evolving relationship between Russia and North Korea. How has the Russia-North Korea relationship evolved recently? Picture 2 leaders standing side by side, their faces set in determination as they sign a historic defense pact. It's June 2024, and Vladimir Putin has just completed a state visit to North Korea, the first by a Russian leader in 25 years. Kim Jong-un, North Korea's supreme leader, calls Putin his closest comrade. The words hang in the air, a testament to a partnership that has grown stronger in the face of international isolation. This is not just a meeting of minds, but a fusion of military might. The defense pact they sign envisions mutual assistance if either nation is attacked, a commitment that harks back to the days of the Cold War. As news of this strengthening alliance spreads, the international community begins to react. What are the international reactions to these developments? Imagine the halls of the United Nations, buzzing with urgent conversations. Diplomats huddle in groups, their faces creased with concern as they discuss the latest developments. The United States, joined by over 50 other countries, issues a stern condemnation. Russia's use of North Korean ballistic missiles, they declare, increases the suffering of the Ukrainian people, supports Russia's war of aggression, and undermines the global non-proliferation regime. In Seoul, government officials express grave concerns about the military cooperation between Russia and North Korea. The tension is palpable as they monitor the situation, acutely aware of the potential implications for their own security. But as the world reacts, North Korea is making moves of its own. How is North Korea's domestic policy shifting in response to these events? Picture a border once a symbol of division, but also of hope for future unity, now being fortified and sealed off. On October 10, 2024, North Korea announces a drastic step. the severing of all road and railway access to South Korea. The Korean People's Army calls it a self-defensive measure for inhibiting war. But to many it seems like a final nail in the coffin of inter-Korean relations. This move comes on the heels of Kim Jong-un's earlier suggestion to revise North Korea's constitution, removing all references to reunification with the South. It's a seismic shift in policy, one that signals a new era in Korean Peninsula relations. As these changes unfold, many are left wondering, what are the potential consequences of North Korea's actions for regional security? Imagine a chessboard where the pieces are suddenly moving in unexpected ways. North Korea's involvement in Ukraine and its growing alliance with Russia have upset the delicate balance of power in East Asia. Military analysts pore over reports trying to gauge the combat experience gained by North Korean forces in Ukraine. Could this experience be applied to future conflicts on the Korean Peninsula? The question hangs in the air, a source of deep concern for neighboring countries. Meanwhile, the exchange of military technologies between Russia and North Korea raises the specter of advanced weapons in Pyongyang's arsenal, a development that could further destabilize the region. But the implications of these developments extend far beyond East Asia. How might these developments impact global geopolitics? Picture a world map where lines of alliance are being redrawn. The strengthening bond between Russia and North Korea represents more than just a bilateral relationship. It's a challenge to the existing international order. In capitals around the world, leaders and diplomats grapple with the implications. Could this embolden other nations to form similar alliances, bypassing established norms and sanctions regimes? For the United States and its allies, particularly in Asia, these developments force a reassessment of security strategies. The involvement of North Korean troops in Ukraine sets a concerning precedent, one that could reshape the nature of future conflicts. As we contemplate these global shifts, one final question remains. What challenges does this situation pose for international law and sanctions? Imagine the halls of the United Nations Security Council, where the very foundations of international law are being tested. North Korea's involvement in Ukraine and its military cooperation with Russia fly in the face of multiple UN resolutions. But with Russia wielding its veto power, the UN's ability to monitor and enforce sanctions has been effectively neutered. It's a stark reminder of the limitations of the current international system when faced with violations by powerful nations and their allies. As diplomats and legal experts grapple with these challenges, the effectiveness of sanctions as a tool for influencing behavior comes into question. In a world where countries can find powerful allies willing to circumvent international restrictions, what options remain for the global community? And so, as our story draws to a close, we're left with more questions than answers. The involvement of North Korean troops in Ukraine, alongside the deepening Russia-North Korea alliance, has set in motion a series of events that will likely reshape global geopolitics for years to come. As we watch these developments unfold, one thing is certain: the world is entering a new era of international relations, one where old alliances are tested, new partnerships are forged, and the rules of global engagement are being rewritten before our very eyes. Subscribe for more.